The cake sat in the center of the long dining table, covered in candles that flickered from the breath of too many people standing too close. Laughter echoed through the house, but it didn't reach the corners, not where Emma stood. She was 7, wearing a blue dress with tiny white flowers. Her favorite. Her left sleeve was tugged down just enough to hide the yellow fading marks on her arm. She held her hands tight in front of her, not because she was nervous, because she'd learned that staying still meant staying safe. Her father leaned down close to her ear, smile wide for the crowd. His breath smelled like smoke and sugar. No one noticed how hard his hand gripped her small shoulder. "Smile," he whispered through clenched teeth. "And don't say a word about the bruises." She smiled. The guests cheered. A cousin snapped a photo. Someone lit the candles. Her mother stood at the far end of the room, laughing too loud, already on her second glass of wine. No one looked at Emma long enough to see what was wrong. Her father stepped back and clapped his hands. "Birthday girl! Make a wish, baby!" She leaned forward, closed her eyes. The room went quiet for a second. "Please," she whispered silently, "let someone see me." She blew out the candles, but the room only clapped again. And not a single person saw how her hands shook. The guests moved into the living room, chatting and laughing like it was any other party. Plates clinked, glasses filled, and music played low in the background. Emma sat on the carpet by the window, surrounded by colorful wrapping paper. Her father leaned against the wall, drink in hand, laughing with an uncle like he hadn't just threatened his own daughter. No one noticed how Emma kept pulling at her sleeve, trying to keep it down. A neighbor handed her a new gift, a pink box with glittery stars, and asked with a cheerful smile, "How does it feel to be 7?" Emma smiled the way she was taught. "It's really nice," she said softly. "I got everything I wanted." The woman smiled and moved on. Emma didn't open the box right away. She just stared at the gold ribbon, wondering what it would be like to have a birthday where she didn't have to lie. Across the room, her aunt snapped a photo of her and called out, "Emma, let's get a picture with Daddy." She froze. Before she could say anything, he was already beside her, crouching down, wrapping an arm around her shoulder, right over the bruise he gave her just 2 nights ago. His grip was too tight, his fingers pressing hard, even while he grinned for the camera. Emma smiled again. Click. "You're lucky to have such a sweet father," the aunt said after the picture. "You're his little princess." Emma nodded. She didn't correct her. She never did. But someone was watching. In the corner of the room, her older cousin, Ava, 13, sat quietly, pretending to scroll through her phone. But her eyes kept flicking to Emma. She'd seen the way the little girl had flinched when her father touched her. She had seen the way Emma's mother avoided the kitchen when he was in it. And she had definitely seen that handprint shape under the fabric of Emma's sleeve. Ava knew what bruises looked like. She'd seen them on her friend's sister at school. She hadn't said anything back then. But this time felt different. This time, it was family. That night, after everyone left, Ava sat in bed, staring at the photo they had posted of Emma and her dad, the perfect birthday picture. And then she did something she hadn't done before. She zoomed in. And there it was, the tiniest shimmer of a tear just beneath Emma's smile. Ava's stomach turned. And for the first time, she wondered what would happen if she stopped pretending not to see it. The next morning, the house was quiet. Emma sat at the kitchen table with a bowl of dry cereal. No milk. Her father was still asleep upstairs. Her mother stood by the sink, staring out the window, a cigarette burning between 2 fingers. No one spoke. No one ever did the morning after. Ava, who had stayed the night, came downstairs slowly. She paused when she saw Emma alone at the table, her little legs swinging beneath the chair. "Hey," she said gently. Emma looked up and smiled, the same practiced smile she wore at the party. Ava pulled out a chair and sat beside her. She opened her backpack and pulled out something folded, an old long-sleeve shirt. "It's softer," she said. "Might feel better than that scratchy one." Emma looked at the shirt like it was a gift from another world. She took it without saying a word, holding it close. Ava glanced toward the hallway. "Is he always like that?" Emma didn't speak. She just stared at the cereal, then gave the smallest nod. Ava's chest tightened. That afternoon, when her mom came to pick her up, Ava asked to stay another night. Her mom agreed without asking why. Ava spent the evening watching quietly. The way Emma shrank when footsteps came near, how she never asked for anything, how she flinched every time a door opened fast. Later that night, while Emma was in the bathroom brushing her teeth, Ava tiptoed into the mother's room. She found the cabinet where important things were kept: bills, papers, photos. She searched for a minute and then saw it, a manila folder labeled medical. Inside were old ER documents. One showed Emma's name. The date matched last winter. The words said accidental fall, but Ava noticed the doctor's handwritten note at the bottom. Inconsistent with story given. She snapped a picture. She didn't sleep that night. Instead, she sat beside Emma's bed and whispered stories until the little girl finally drifted off. The room was cold. The house was quieter than it should have been. And when she heard footsteps outside the door, Ava pretended to sleep. She heard the knob turn, then stop, then slowly pull back. The next morning, Ava left with her mom. But she didn't leave empty-handed. She had the photo, the medical report, the bruise on Emma's arm now hidden under the soft shirt Ava gave her. And before getting in the car, she leaned down and whispered into Emma's ear, "I saw it. I believe you. And I'm going to do something." For the first time, Emma didn't smile. She just nodded and held Ava's hand a second longer before letting go. Ava sat in the back seat of her mom's car, quiet the whole ride home. She clutched her phone, scrolling again and again through the pictures, the birthday photo, the medical document, the bruise on Emma's arm. Her mom talked about dinner plans, traffic, something about school. Ava didn't respond. Her mind was locked on Emma. That night, after pretending to sleep, Ava opened her laptop and searched. How to report child abuse anonymously. It took her to a hotline. Her fingers hovered over the number. Her heart pounded. What if they didn't believe her? What if it made things worse? But then she remembered Emma's eyes, not crying, not begging, just quiet. Too quiet for a little girl. Ava picked up the phone and dialed. The voice on the other end was calm, kind. Ava told them what she saw. The bruises, the things Emma's father said, the photo, the report. She answered every question, her voice shaky but steady. 2 days passed. Then everything changed. Ava was pulled from her math class. In the hallway stood a school counselor and a woman in a gray coat. Child Protective Services. "Is your name Ava Green?" the woman asked. Ava nodded, unsure if she was in trouble or something worse. "We followed up on the report," the woman said gently. "You might have saved someone." Emma was pulled from her house that same afternoon. Her mother cried. Her father shouted. But the social worker didn't flinch. She had seen worse. And she had the evidence now, the medical report, the bruises, and a voice that finally broke the silence. Ava watched from the window as Emma stepped out of the CPS car and walked toward the foster home where Ava's aunt worked. It had been arranged. Emma wouldn't be placed with strangers. She'd be watched, protected. Emma spotted Ava by the window. She stopped. Then she smiled. But not the fake one. Not the one she wore when she was scared. It was small, real, and full of something Ava hadn't seen before. Relief. Weeks later, after the investigation, Emma's father was arrested. Her mother entered a court-ordered treatment program. And Emma began to speak a little more each day, about the things no one had noticed, about nights spent hiding in closets, about how birthdays always made her feel sick. But she also spoke about Ava, the cousin who saw her, believed her, did something. The story made the local paper, a headline in small print. Teens report saves child from ongoing abuse. Family member stepped in when no one else would. Ava never wanted credit. She didn't need applause. But one day Emma came running out of school and hugged her so tight it nearly knocked her over. "I made a wish," she whispered. Ava smiled, brushing the little girl's hair from her face. "What was it?" "That someone would hear me." And Ava, her voice steady, whispered back, "I did."